Hey everyone, it's Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, talking with one of our partners today, the All-State Game. They joined us last year. A lot of All-Star games across the country for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And we're joined today by the Director of Talent in the state of Georgia, Micah Hughes, to talk about the game that's coming up Memorial Day weekend this year. Coach, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Hey Jeff, thank you for having us. I really appreciate it. It's a great opportunity to talk about the game and really expand on what we're trying to do.
Well, a lot of people got a good glimpse of it when we started the partnership with the All-State game last year. There was that guy, Bears tight end, Colston Loveland, and something like that, who got his start out in the Idaho game, which is kind of the one that's kind of the preeminent one, but they've spread this across the country. So we're going to just talk specifically Georgia. I know last year was your first year. Talk a little bit about the game, what you experienced last year, and how the kids can get involved.
Absolutely. So last year was my first experience with the All-State game, and it was a really good experience. Again, I had known it from just being something that was up north to them branching out and trying to grow it in Georgia and Tennessee and in the southern states, and so didn't know much about it. I was the head coach for a sixth grade team last year, and got a lot of my coaches involved and some local coaches in the area. And when we got there, just to see the professionalism, the people who were involved in it, how it was put together, the structure, the gear the kids got, the media exposure, all of these things. I mean, it really was very impressive. And so it was something that, when they reached out to me, I was like, I would love to continue to be a part of this and help any way I can to grow it, because I felt like last year a lot of people obviously didn't know about it, it being the first time in Georgia. And with some of these games, it can, you don't know how they're run, you don't know who's running them. And with this promotion being a national brand, they do it as professional as any organization as I've ever worked with. So this was something that I had no issue attaching my name to, and going out there and talking to people about this. But everybody that I was involved with last year, they were like, please remember us for next year, nominate us. We want to come back. The coaches absolutely loved it. It was a great event. It really did highlight the kids, and it gave them an opportunity. I know these kids are in middle school, and it's not so much looking at college exposure right this second and all these kind of things that all the people think about, but they did have, opportunities to be in front of media, and learn how to speak in front of a camera and get some practice and get some exposure and get pictures, and everything that was that was around the game was just so well put together and so impressive that I wanted to be a part of helping spread the word and get it down in this area and grow the game. And so that's been the game plan. This off season is trying to do that and grow the game in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, and just to add our 2 cents from High School Football America's point of view, that's one of the reasons we partnered with them. We did a lot of kicking of the tires and all that. And you're right, there's a lot of pretenders out there. There's a cottage industry when it comes to the great game of football. And you got to watch who you partner with. And we do believe that the people at the All-State game are fine folks. And I've known you for a while. You mentioned middle school, and sixth, seventh, and eighth grade is what I said at the top. And educate the people a little bit. We don't have sixth graders going against eighth graders, I guess, unless there's no size difference, but tell us how it all operates.
Yeah, so there's a sixth grade, seventh grade, and eighth grade team, and it's the current grade you're in. So if it's in May, so if you were started sixth grade in August and you go obviously through May, then you'll be on the sixth grade team, and then there's a seventh grade team and an eighth grade team. So essentially 3 games, and so then you would have practices, combines, and so I know we're in the process right now of putting staffs together for each of those. So there's obviously 2 sixth grade teams, 2 seventh grade teams, 2 eighth grade teams. And so then there's staffs for all those. And we try to bring in, some of the top coaches from around the area, both North Georgia, South Georgia, just all over the state of Georgia, and try to maximize, our coaching and who we bring in so that, this is something that is beneficial for the kids. I love, the structure of this. It's fun. I know as a coach, I was the head coach of a team last year, and it really helps you with your install and with getting information to a kid in a short amount of time. And so I know it helped my staff because we came in and were like, hey, this helps us as we progress into our season. We can see how quickly we can get something installed with the kids
Yeah.
and if it sticks or not. And that helped our middle school coaches as we went, throughout the season. And so I love the aspect of it. And they do take them through at the beginning. They do some combine testing. And a lot of people are like, why do we do that? Why would you do combine testing and all this? But it gets kids prepared for as they progress into high school, going into these college camps where, like it or not, they're going to test the 40, they're going to do the shuttle, they're going to do the broad jump. So whether you like that or not, it's good to introduce these kids into that. So it's not this foreign entity to them when they do go to these college camps. And so they have an idea of what that looks like. And then we progress into practice. And you have multiple practices. I've been a part of some all-star games where you don't have enough time, and or sometimes you have too much time and you're trying to put way too much stuff in. I felt like this was the right amount of time with this 3 day, two-day practice and then the game, and the structure of how it's done. And so again, everything about this was very professionally done, very well thought out. And I know as a coach last year, I was able to give a lot of feedback that they were able to update and kind of adjust moving into this year. So I think it'll be a lot better even than it was last year.
Talk a little bit about the people watching this about let's say they have a kid or they're a coach of a Pop Warner team or something out there. How do you find the kids? How can a coach or a parent or somebody get involved and let you know who's across the state of Georgia to get involved in your game?
Absolutely. So, that was one thing, too. We're looking for talent scouts, is what we call them. Is people who run, these Pop Warner organizations, middle school coaches, high school coaches who are interested in, nominating their players. And it may be a kid who is, maybe on the fence or something like that. We're wanting to give these kids an opportunity, whether they're the best kid on your team or maybe they're middle of the pack. We want to give them an opportunity to get exposure. And so, you can reach out to me through social media. I know we put a lot of stuff out there. There's also links on your website, the High School Football America, and I'll my email is out there. I'm not sure exactly from a contact standpoint.
Yeah, we'll get
But
we'll
that
we'll
can,
get some stuff links in the story that are associated with
yeah,
it. So go
absolutely.
to
So that
highschoolfootballamerica.com, folks. But no, it's easy to get in touch with him. He's good on social media. Trust me.
yes, no,
That's how
I
we
try to
became
be from
friends.
a absolutely. And so, we just encourage you to nominate those kids, and then there's a description in there that kind of gives feedback as to what that kid's good at positionally. Again, the form is another part of it. It's very professional how it's put together. It's not one of these, these little dinky do type things. It's very thorough, and it goes through and gives a lot of information about that player. And so we just encourage coaches, youth coaches, Pop Warners, the middle schools, the high schools, please nominate these kids. And we want it to be widespread. We want, all the way south Georgia, all the way up to North Georgia and across the board. And we want to get as many as possible so we can grow the game. Ideally, we've got sixth, seventh, and eighth grade games. But if we had to do two sixth grade games, two seventh grade games, two eighth grade games, that would be awesome. And it gets kids more reps, it gets kids more exposure. And the timing of it too at the end of May, going right into the season, it kind of starts to get their
Mhm.
juices flowing, get them prepared for football. And it's a good bridge right there because I know a lot of schools don't start with the middle school till July. And so it gets them going into football, gets their minds kind of reset on that, and then they can progress into their season, and get things rolling. So I think it's just a great opportunity across the board, and we just we ask that please go in and take the time because it's going to benefit the kids. I mean, and that's what we're about in this process is benefiting the kids, and having a good time along that process.
Yeah, and I know the sites to be determined yet, but you can learn a lot more, folks, by going to allstategame.org. As I said, go to highschoolfootballamerica.com if you're watching this on our YouTube channel. All the links for Micah and the organization, so you can get a little bit more fluent in what they're doing. That'd be great. Coach, you're also the head coach at Mount Bethel Christian Academy in the Atlanta area, and you and I talked about this off tape, if you will, and we want to bring it up right now, which is we're going to use the word poach because I know there's some coaches out there that are thinking, well, why is this high school coach doing this and all that? And I know why you're doing it. I know where your heart is. I know it's for the good of the game. It's for the good of the kids. But let's talk a little bit about that word poach.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I've fielded some emails from some coaches who, had some questions. And that was the biggest thing that I told them. I said, hey, give me a call. I mean, if we're not, this is not to try to take kids or to try to get your list of middle school kids so that we can, call them or try to pull them over into our program or into another program or anything like that. So I always talk to these coaches and I tell them, I say, hey, just give me a call. That way we can talk and you can learn and know my heart and know where we are. I mean, I truly got into coaching for the kids. I mean, that is 100%, why I do this. And I love these games. It's a great experience. It's a great opportunity. Every kid that we had last year, I mean, just really did love what we were doing and loved the game. And so you want kids to have these opportunities. Again, whether they're the best player on their team or they're a middle of the pack kid, you want them to have these experiences and these things they can remember. Because middle school's tough. I mean, middle school's a tough time, and I think we all know that. And so you want them to have these experiences. And my whole thing behind this is growing the game of football. I know football has come under fire in certain instances and in certain places, and you want to grow the game and you want to expand it. And I do this too as a relationship thing. I love meeting coaches. I mean, I really do. I love building relationships. I love talking to coaches from around the state. This has even allowed me to talk to coaches from around the country. In different organizations and different groups, and this is something that I just really enjoy doing and have a passion for. And so trying to take a kid or trying to do that, that's never a thought process or anything like that. I can speak for all the coaches that coached last year. I mean, their whole thought process is trying to get the schemes in for these kids and be there for these kids and maximize that and leave some lasting impressions on the kids. And so I encourage any coach that feels that way. I mean, again, I've had some email back and forth and had some great conversations with some coaches, and they were really able to understand who I am and why I'm doing this, and really able to see my heart in this. And so I always encourage them, hey, if there's questions about this, email me. We can set up a time to talk. I'm happy to kind of go through the process, talk to you about this, but I don't want your kid to miss out on a great opportunity, because you're worried about somebody trying to take your kid or trying to do this or something like that. So that's a big deal and that's a big thing to me. And I think probably I know last year that may have been some reason as many kids didn't get nominated. But I plead that just do your research, reach out. I'll have, as many conversations as necessary, and give you all the background in the world on me and why I want to do this and why we do this, before you make those decisions. And then at that point in time, if you don't feel comfortable, that's your choice and that's at your discretion. But, we're in this for the kids and I want to make sure the kids get everything they need, along this process.
I've been doing this, as 50 plus years, and we do not partner with anyone. If we thought for any moment that any organization had a partnership with, they were doing anything wrong, we would not be partnered with them. It's as simple as that. And people that know high school football America, know me personally, know we do that. So, my word is as good as Micah's. I believe, Coach, that it's all about the game, right? Educating
Yes,
kids,
sir.
growing it, and keeping it safe. There's no doubt about that. As we go away here, a couple of other things. You said last year was the first. You said it was a great experience. I guess you said coming away, you've had the enthusiasm rolling out, where it's like, are you doing this again and all that? Tell me a little bit about some of the enthusiasm that came out of year one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it was great. Once we got done with the game, like all the parents were out on the field and they do award ceremonies and different things like that. And it was just the parents coming up to me saying, hey, next year, I'm going to nominate, we're going to get this kid nominated and we're going to do this. Hey, let us know. I mean, I've had parents emailing me, who kids through my own school, who have said, hey, we've already filled the form out. Like they were sending emails before the summer was over about next year's game. And I just think that's a testament to the way it was put together, the way it was structured. We had some weather issues last year too, with lightning, a lot of lightning in the area on day
That's
one,
Georgia.
and that's Georgia. It is in the summertime, and it's but the way even the transition was to get us into another location at the school. and to, just seamless transition. And you've got a lot of people. I mean, college coaches. I mean, I know there was, the guy who helped run last year was a college coach. And so you've got a lot of high level people who are working at this event. There's a lot of staff. And again, it was just an amazing opportunity. And so, just the excitement that you could see from the people who were involved in the game, and so many people who were honestly, I had gotten emails from other people who weren't a part of it, like, "Hey, why didn't we know about this? What was going on?" And I was like, we kept trying to tell you. And they had heard from friends and from people who were involved in the game, how well it was run and how, and again, I've been a part, I've been on the other side. I've been in some all-star games where I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I don't want my name attached to this. I don't want to be a part of this. It was very poorly ran. And the All-State game is the farthest thing from that. It is so professional, so well put together. I mean, even from the way when you come in as a coach, they've got all your bags ready. They've got, two different kinds of practice jerseys, game shirts ready for you as a coach, hats. I mean, you're well taken care of as far as, and everything along those lines. Same thing for the kids, how they do the uniforms, how they do all that kind of stuff. And so, I just think all the people who were able to see that last year, and just again, how well it was done, the excitement that circled around that. So I've been fielding emails, and the people who were involved in it last year, I would say the majority of anybody that has reconnected with me, they've already registered, they've already signed up, and that's one of the things with kids who played last year, they're able to re-register.
Okay.
And so they send out the re-registration form for them. And so we've had a ton that have already re-registered for next year. And so, they were able to see it firsthand. And so hopefully, again, we're able to grow it this year, get a lot more kids. They're able to truly see it firsthand. And then that's how word of mouth starts to spread. And then you just start to this thing just starts to take off and take hold of the state of Georgia.
Great. Well, before we go, I know we touched on this a little bit, but one of the things you and I wanted to accomplish in this conversation and the way we can get, all of Georgia and then the other states that are involved in this kind of get a little fire lit is, getting those talent scouts, getting those people that connect with someone like you, the head of the director of talent, talk about, what you're looking for when it comes to that talent scout. Who do you want to call you, email you, reach out on social media?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anybody that is connected with youth, with middle school, with high school, and we really want to develop these talent scouts where there would be something where I'd get on the phone with them, we would talk to see if they're a right fit for what we're looking for. Again, we only partner with trustworthy people who we know are in it for the right reasons. But I would definitely love to encourage anybody that's interested in becoming a talent scout to reach out. And like you said, we can link it in the bio and have my information there where you can reach out. I would set up a time to talk with you either via Zoom or a phone call or something like that, and we can see. The biggest thing is just being one person who is trying to push things through the state of Georgia is hard. And I know South Georgia and North Georgia is widely different as far as just across the board. And so, being able to connect with some of these youth organizations and youth coaches, middle school coaches, high school coaches, not only do I love, again, to want for them to help us grow this game, but also find coaches as well who are interested in coaching in this game. And we do that really through the talent scout portion there. And then too, again, I love building relationships. I love, talking with coaches and spending time with coaches. I don't think I would do this if I didn't. And so, it gives you, it's a great experience across the board. So I say, hey, if this is something you're interested in, if you've got, a pipeline where you can, send and nominate kids into this, we ask that you just reach out, and again, we'll set up a time to talk and and then again, if you've got questions, if there's questions like we talked about, why are we doing this? What does this look like? What's the structure? We can have those conversations as well. I'm very open. I'm an open book. Can give you as much information as possible. And if it's not something that I can answer, I know Simon and the staff at the All-State game, the bigger staff at the All-State game can answer as well. So, but I'm the contact person here in Georgia, and I would kind of be the one to to push those talent scouts through, and then again through that. That's how we like to find our coaches as well. So if it's something you're interested to coach in the game, which I can't tell you enough how fun it was, how great an experience it was, just the whole thing. So if it's something you're interested in, please reach out, and we'll start those conversations and again build those relationships.
Coach, thank you for taking the time. I know that year two is going to be bigger and better. I love your enthusiasm for it. One of the reasons we hopped on board was, high school football America is obviously high school, but we know that it all starts down below, getting those kids those good opportunities and the right education and the right coaching and all that. So we appreciate you and look forward to checking it out here coming up in 2026. So thanks for taking the time.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.